If you're not, that's absolutely fine. We have a few people who aren't. So if we do that, and then I'll rely on Sue once again after that, just in case other people come in while we're doing the check-in to kind of help us focus a little bit. So when you have your turn, if you could call on the next person who is in vicinity of yourself, if they haven't already been called on. So I'm going to pick on you, Heather.
Right. Hello, everyone. Long time no see. I'm afraid I've been out on lots of wild road trips in the hope of catching up with you, but the signals were not that good. However, we in Portsmouth have been working quite hard with Compassionately Portsmouth, and of course the financial situation in all our countries is producing requests into Compassionately Portsmouth for lots of different acts of kindness, sadly we've had to drop the Chat Caf host project. I'm not particularly worried about that. It obviously wasn't the right time. We had a wonderful young man who was going to be our host, but sadly he had to increase his work hours, which he was going to dedicate to us. So that's where we are. We're doing about 4 befriending tasks for various age groups, and our volunteers are visiting folk either on the phone or in their own home once a week. So we're moving forward, and that's where we are.
Great.
Okay, yeah, so I'm going to call on Hyacinth.
Thank you, Heather. Hi, everybody. My name's Hyacinth. I am calling in from London in the UK. I am a small business owner, but I'm also part of the steering group for the Chart for Compassion's Gender Partnerships Women and Girls sector. I haven't been here for ages. It's so good to see you, Marilyn. I think my last one was December last year. And it's been quite crazy, so yeah, I'm glad to be back. And I'm going to call on David.
Thank you. Yeah, so yeah, as you can see, Kinder Leeds, that's where I am. And we are exactly halfway through our Kinder Leeds Compassion Festival right now. And I'll be honest, it's been a struggle. Yeah, I was talking to somebody from an arts organization this morning, said it's really hard to get people out of their houses at the moment. And our team is down for the festival from 10 people to 3. And we've been up against it in terms of getting the numbers there. We had a brilliant event at Leeds Civic Hall on Monday, our Kindness Exchange event, and we were looking at some tough issues this year because we thought we really need to face up to what's going on. So we were looking at hate crime, Islamophobia, climate anxiety, the cost of living crisis. We had a fantastic group of speakers, and all of that's on film, so it will be on our website shortly. But very sadly, but maybe a blessing in disguise, we had to cancel our big event, which was with Karen Armstrong. We just were not able to get the numbers in the time available. I only was able to confirm her late in July, so we were up against a challenge with the timescale. But what it does mean is that it's giving us an opportunity to prepare and build a partnership with a lot of fantastic organizations around the city. There was a meeting last week called Compassion in a Crisis, not organized by us, organized by the Leeds Church Institute, about how Leeds came together in the pandemic. And it was really inspirational to hear the amazing work that was done with the third sector in Leeds is extremely sort of integral. It's very, very connected and collaborative. And the city council is very supportive. And what they did was pretty miraculous, actually. So we're looking at how we can build on that going forward. And I want to create a big citywide conversation around that as we lead up to the event with Karen later on. And then we're going to ask the city formally to sign up to the Charter for Compassion and, you know, make that a sort of strategic citywide partnership project. So that's where we're going. Yeah, kindleeds.org if you're interested to see what's going on there. But yeah, thank you.
So you'll call on someone as
All
well?
right, okay. So I'm going to call on Susan Soleil.
Oh, you said that correctly. Thank you. Susan Soleil, I'm zooming in from Salt Lake City, Utah, a state in the Rocky Mountains of the Western United States. And I'm with the Charter for Compassion, and I'm also with Pro-Social, which we can talk about if I have a few minutes at the end. And I do want to quickly acknowledge that Utah is, I live on the stolen lands of 5 nations, the Shoshone, Paiute, Goshute, Ute, and Dene nations. And I'm so happy to be here with all of you, and I will pass it on to Shad.
Hi, yeah, Shad. I'm in Sheffield in the United Kingdom, and I'm part of the, I don't know how to describe us. There's a sort of group that is piloting Sheffield Compassionate City. The director is Nick Dayton, and his post is funded by Sheffield City Council, St Luke's Hospice, and the Commissioning Council of the NHS in Sheffield. At the moment, most of the work has been around death and dying, but I'm hoping that we're going to start spreading that out more into the sort of living people that we've got. We're very fortunate in that we've got Mike West, who leads on compassionate leadership, and we've also had a lot of support from Julian Abel, who wrote the book on compassionate communities about Froome. So yeah, I've only recently re-engaged with Sheffield Compassionate Communities because it wasn't my area of expertise that they were focusing on around death and dying. But as I say, I'm hoping it's been going for about a year now, and we're kind of moving into the living, hopefully.
Okay, great, thank you.
And Christine, I'm passing it over to you.
Hello, I feel like I should catch a button or something. My name's Christine Stone, and as I'm listening to all you wonderful people talking about your activities, I feel a bit of an intruder because I'm just an ordinary person who looks at the Charter for Compassion postings and the website and reads the newsletters. And I'm not actually doing anything in terms of this lovely activities, wonderful activities that you're all involved with. I live in Hazelmere, which is kind of between Guildford and Portsmouth. So I guess I'm not all that far from you, Heather. But there's nothing in terms of the Charter for Compassion that's actually going on directly locally. So yes, I hope it's all right to be here.
Absolutely. And, you know, there's a dozen reasons and probably more for us to get as many people from the UK involved. and to make contact with one another. And I'm quite certain that we'll have a moment or two where we'll turn it over to Ole, so he can show us how we can continue to communicate with one another, but also with like-minded people. I'm not going to go much further into that, but also for for people to find mentors. I mean, if you find that there are projects that you truly like you just found Heather, who's not too far from you,
Yes.
who has this incredible automobile van kind of thing. She might just show up at your doorstep without you knowing it.
Lovely. Yeah.
Okay, so can you call on someone else, please?
Oh, yes. Merida?
That's pretty close.
It is. It is. And it's fine. It's fine because people in England do call me Merida usually, so that's okay. So I'm Merida or Merida, depending what part of the globe you're at. I'm British by birth. I was born in Leeds. So David, that's my mother is from Leeds. I have family back up there. But I moved away very young. Lived 8 years in Nigeria, 20 years in Barcelona, Spain, and I'm now based in Mexico. But I'm here as program coordinator for the Charter for Compassion. So the invitation, the links that didn't get into your inboxes and things like that, that's all my fault. And the ones that did as well. So I'm here to see what the UK is doing, and hopefully one day I'll get to meet you all personally when I go and visit my family there.
So do you want to call on someone?
And I'll call on Reb.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm in the same position as Christine, really. I'm not involved in anything, but I've signed up for the Charter for Compassion things and just follow online. I'm based in Liverpool in the UK. It's great to hear that so many things are happening. I wasn't aware of it at all. So as I put in the chat, I can only stay 30 minutes. I have a work call, but I'm happy to meet you all and to hear a bit about what you're doing. Thanks. So then I will call on Alison.
Hi, thank you. I'm in Scotland in a place called Inverclyde, and we've got quite an established compassionate community here in Inverclyde. We've been running for about 6 years, and it's really organically grown in those years. And we originally started with Alan Kelleher's, his vision of a public health approach to palliative care. And I was funded originally by the hospice, and then as it grew bigger than end of life care. So we now that's still part of it because we run the No One Dies Alone programme, but we are interested in social isolation and friendship and loneliness and bringing people together and improving well-being. So it's now funded by the local Health and Social Care Partnership, and at the minute we are doing a whole programme of a whole systems approach to bereavement across Inverclyde as part of that compassionate community work. So it's good to be here.
Thank you, Alison.
Thank you. And I'll pass it on to Terry.
Thank you. I'm a kind of sidekick to Heather. I try to look after the accounts and things like this. I mean, one of the things that we found, which is very difficult, is raising money. And when you raise the money, nobody actually wants you to put it in a bank these days because banks only like large sums of money. So we've had quite a bit of a challenge doing that. But in Portsmouth, we are doing a variety of things, as Heather has told you. And the interesting thing for me is I was going to say good afternoon, but because not good afternoon for everybody. And I'm very well aware of that because I've only just come back myself from working for the last 6 months or so in Cambodia, where I work on overseas development projects. And the interesting thing about that is that I've still been able to do all the work of the treasurer, despite the fact that I was kind of 10,000 kilometers away from our bank. The internet these days is just remarkable when it works, because sometimes it doesn't. But it's really lovely to meet everybody and to hear what everybody is doing around the country. The big issue for me coming back and noticing this is that during COVID, awful things happened. And what we are finding, I think, in Portsmouth is that there are still a lot of people, not necessarily just the old, who are still frightened about going on things like public transport. They're still frightened of going out and meeting people. And this is becoming right of a problem for these people who are isolating themselves from the community. This can't be healthy. It's something that we are trying to think about how we can address it in terms of, you know, even just going on a bus with somebody to help them get back to using buses again and showing them that it is possible. So there are issues around that. Can I pass over to this wonderful duo that I see down the bottom there, Sue and Claire?
Thank you, Terry. Hi, everybody. I'm Sue Cooper, and you are
Claire Clements.
My passion is co-creating compassionate communities and bringing health and well-being into that. So I'm founder of two ideas. They're not businesses because I work in service. One is MOM, Moments of Mass Mindfulness. And the other one is Self-Care World, helping people find their way to caring for themselves, and meditation and mindfulness is at the heart of that. And I'm also a non-exec director for Positively Empowered Kids. So I'm going to hand over to Claire now, who is one of the founders of Positively Empowered Kids, with Jackie Wilson, who's down in my corner here.
Wearing our matching hoodies.
Yeah.
So yes, Claire Clements, Positively Empowered Kids, CIC, or Social Enterprise, and we are all about empowering children and families to thrive, to really empower them with their well-being and mental health, so that we can help the future generations and the ecosystem of a child. So that doesn't just involve the child, that's the impact of the parents, of the communities, of the schools, of the businesses, everyone that comes into reach of that child. We've just celebrated after a couple of years off with our festival. We just had the Positively Empowered Kids Festival in September, which was phenomenal. We saw over 70% of attendees. We had 1,200 people there that were children that were vulnerable, that needed additional help, additional needs. So we're kind of celebrating being physically back in the world. And so on that note, I'll hand over to Jackie Wilson, my co-founder.
I read your mind. So hi, I'm Jackie Wilson, also one of the co-founders of Positively Empowered Kids. And I'd say at the deep core of what we're doing is growing a generation of conscious, compassionate change makers. That's something that we, with all our work, we're starting with the mental health of young people, but also unlocking potential, which is one of the programs we've just come back from finishing today. So yeah, I mean, the festival, interestingly, I know when I was listening on the way driving back, people were saying with events, it's been hard to get people to attend. And it was the same for us too. You know, we had low numbers of ticket sales, but actually we got, like Claire says, 70%. The main bulk of people who came were from us gifting act of kindness tickets, golden tickets, to those families that really needed it. And that's what brought in the numbers at the end of the day. So we were really fortunate that the sponsorship we gained enabled us to do that. And yeah, basically it was a great day. being able to offer young people the opportunity to run their own stalls, to perform, and to do a superhero cakewalk around the racetrack to recognise the incredible person that they are. So I won't say too much more, but yeah, there's a lot that we do to really empower kids to be compassionate change makers. And I should pass on to Ola, because I don't know who else hasn't gone.
Okay, just before you do that, so people know, because the question came up, these last 3 people are from Nottingham. Okay, Ola.
Thank you. Well, I am in Stockholm, Sweden, and I work quite closely with most of you on the screen in front of me. I know that every person on earth wants peace. We want a healthy environment forever. But somehow humanity is not able to create what all of us want. We have created structures like corporations and countries that are largely driven by selfishness. And my mission, my passion is to find ways that humanity can organize ourselves in different ways. And I believe it starts with me. It starts with me and the people around me. It goes on to neighborhoods and communities where we care for each other, where we have integrity and authenticity. And yeah, that is the mission I'm on, and that's why I'm working with so many of you to change the world, because I think we have reached critical mass of people who want something differently, but we are still largely invisible to each other. We haven't found ways to organize the world between us yet.
And I think that Marilyn Hamilton, since she's incognito here with her hat, you're our last person, so.
Oh, maybe I should take my hat off. Then I'm not incognito anymore. That would be incognito. Thank you, Marilyn. Yeah, I'm Marilyn Hamilton, and I live in Findhorn Eco Village in Scotland. And the Scots can tell I don't have a Scottish accent. That's because I'm Canadian, and I immigrated back to the land of my ancestors here. I have been really happy over the last couple of months to take an initiative that we've taken with Integral City. We focus on the Master Code of Care, caring for self so we can care for others. So together we care for our places, and all together we care for the planet. I do a regular meditation here from Findhorn on Saturday mornings with Zoom called Islands of Calm. But I engaged with Charter for Compassion and Cities for Compassionate Cities that we would do a special one every 4th Saturday. And that is focused on cities and towns and villages. And this last time that I did it, it overlapped with Peace Week. So there's a large initiative that Ben Bowler and Anna Marie Verhoeven co-host with the evolutionary leaders, and From Unity to Peace, 99 days that go from June 21st to September the 21st. So that one, I changed the time of day so that for me it was 9:30 at night. That was partly to fit in their program, but I also wanted to shift it from our European morning here to another time. And so we had over 40 people out for that meditation. So I hope we can continue to build on that. I'm willing to keep the later time on that particular initiative. It's interesting, you know, I was inspired by a spiritual guide here in Findhorn, Mary Inglis and David Spangler, whom you might know, who says that if you can find the island of calm in yourself, you have the opportunity to influence more than 1,000 other people. And so that's one of the reasons that I like to offer this meditation, but it also is a way to acknowledge not only humans, but other than human ways of connecting and being compassionate in the world. A couple of other things that I've been doing is I've been connecting with Jude Currivan, who's created a unitive narrative that is being adopted by the Unity Cluster in the United Nations. And this is to bring a coherence around the story we tell ourselves about who we are as earthlings, and that we all have much more in common than that which is separating us. I think that very much the roots of the Charter for Compassion are embedded in it. And that unitive narrative is something that we talked about on Peace Week with Jude, as well as doing the meditation. One last thing, since everyone here is really looking not only at compassion and kindness, but here at Findhorn, we've been using appreciative inquiry to start to explore how to bring a caring approach to those of our community who are moving into or exist in elderhood, and how can we take responsibility for ourselves as a whole community in holding and supporting each other. So the other thing I would say is I've been delighted to meet face-to-face Sue Cooper and Jackie and Claire this summer when I traveled in July to Nottinghamshire and also Knaresborough. So I was near you in Leeds, not too far away, as I did a kind of a pilgrimage across the Midlands and Northern England. So it was really nice for me to go back to a place that I'd been spent a lot of time in when I lived in the Midlands in the 80s. So yeah, lovely to be here. Thank you, Marilyn. And I think that's everyone, is it?
It is everyone. And so I'm Marilyn Turkinich, and I'm the Executive Director for the Charter for Compassion. And you'll hear more about what we're doing. And Reb, I'm sorry that you have to leave, but this is being recorded. And if you want, we'll get you the recording like we will with everyone else so that you can find out what was happening with the charter. And also, I think you're going to want to take a look at especially the part on the co-creators map so that we get you on there so that everyone here can communicate with one another without having to go through the rigmarole of contacting us. Sue has a battery problem, and so she's not going to be able to lead us in meditation. So Marilyn, can you do that for just kind of helping us focus for the next part of our meeting? Just maybe a few minutes?
Sure. Thank you for inviting me. So I just ask you all to get comfortable where you're seated. And I'll just give us a chime in, and then I will guide us for a minute or so and chime out. So just take a deep breath and feel yourself where you're seated, connected to the earth, and above you, connected to the sky and our source. And as we feel the center of the universe connecting us right down through our spines to the center of the earth, we can just feel our heart chakras open up and feel the compassion that calls us here through the work and service that we are all called into. And we just reach out and touch each other and feel the community of compassion that gathers here in this call, with special gratitude to all those humans and angels of technology that make this possible. I just ask you to spend a few seconds in silence, feeling our compassion and gratitude reaching out and connecting us around the earth. And I invite you to take another breath and become aware of your bodies, connected back to earth. And just give your shoulders a little roll, maybe stretch out, and feel your awareness to where you are. and the beautiful reasons that we are called here together, the blessing that we are together. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. I just wanted to kind of respond to some of the things that I was hearing, especially the work of Julian Abel. Julian is a good friend of the Charter for Compassion. We have been doing a lot together over the last year, and I would like to invite people who are interested in health and well-being to maybe come and join us with meetings that we have with Elevate Compassion. And maybe when we send out the proceedings from this meeting, I'll make certain that you have information about Elevate Compassion, and also the fact that last year we had a pretty big a joint conference together on healthcare, and right now they're on a little bit of a vacation and will start up again in the new year. But nonetheless, just so that you all know that there is a connection between Julian and his compassionate communities and ourselves. The other thing I just wanted everyone to be aware of, we're missing a number of people today for various reasons. Because of some illness, and we wish Magdalena Sacrani's journey right now with her husband well, and for people who know her, if you want to make contact with her, I'm sure she would appreciate it. The people from the whole Oxford area seem to be missing today: Jimmy Slattery, Princess Magdalena, Jan Cranswell. So you know, just so people know that they're a very active group, as well as the folks up in Belfast. And Mary Catherine, who is a mainstay of these meetings in Edinburgh. So we have a really vibrant group from the UK. And I just wanted to share with you, I have with the folks from Positively Empowered Kids that the Charter is lucky enough to been able to hire a new education coordinator, so that if you have education programs that you're working with, or you're thinking about getting involved with teachers, students, youth in particular, please let us know. We will, next time, we'll make certain that Shane O'Connor, who's originally from Ireland, but now lives in Madrid, will be at this meeting to meet you. He has a few other meetings today, but I know that he will be making contact with a number of people that are on here. So, and if you have any interest, then, you know, we'll make certain that you get to that part. I think that there have been a number of reasons for us to turn to Ola to talk about the co-creators map. I always want to say the map of co-creators, but the co-creators map. And also to Ola, if you want to share how that map is now linked to the wisdom book, that would be great. And we'll interject some interesting stories, I think, because you all have interesting stories. You all, to a certain extent, even though you say that you're just new to this meeting, I'm sure you know wonderful things that are happening in your community or have happened that could actually be a reason for people to make conversation with you, to find out a little bit more, but most importantly, to replicate some of the things that you're already doing. So in our wisdom book, we already have the story of Positively Empowered Kids, so that perhaps people in other parts of the world will pick up that idea, make contact with them, so that they can duplicate it in their own communities. So I'm going to turn it over to Ola. And do you have the access to show the map, and maybe to even get one person from this group to get on the map so that it'll help people understand. And by the way, we do have videos that are on the page in English and Spanish, just in case any of you besides Merida speak Spanish. It's there for you, and we're working on doing it in other languages as well. Ola.
Okay. Always happy to share what we are working on. As I said initially, we are enough people in the world to change this world completely. If we could just connect with each other locally around our passions. And I've sent you in the chat the link to this page, which explains more about the map of co-creators. I will show you here. It focuses on me. It always opens up where you are. So here is the map of co-creators, the people who have signed up. And it is organized so that there's a pin appearing in your postcode if you register, not on your house. And it shows the color of your passion. So why don't I use myself as an example? I am here, I think, yes. Maybe I can enlarge that a little bit. So my primary area of interest is governance and community. I appear with my first name, not with my phone number or last name or anything like that. The point is that people can find others. So if I zoom out of this map and say that I want to find people who are interested in governance and community. So here are people in the world who are also interested in governance and community. And I can reach out to somebody in Scotland. It could be Marilyn or Alona in northern Germany. I can select them and I can then send an invitation from myself. I then disclose my email address because I am on the map. Everybody are anonymous. And I can ask here if we want to co-create about something. And I can send that. So this is a way for people to connect with other people in the world who share the passion. As Marilyn suggested, maybe we should try to register somebody to give a demonstration of how this works. Is there anybody who are up for appearing on the map? And I will guide you through the process.
Don't be shy.
Can you just run through what all the areas of interest are, please, Ola?
Yes, that's a good idea, because this is, oops, I need to share my map, sorry, screen. So this is organized in 12 sectors. And in line with Barbara Marx Hubbard sectors of co-creation. So it's spirituality and religion, science and technology, relations and peace, media and communications, justice and restoration, infrastructure and resources, health and well-being, governance and community, environment, food and water, education and learning, economics and business, arts and culture. And within each of these categories, there are subcategories. So somebody who is interested in working with teenagers will sign up here, and somebody who's interested in working with newly borns and their parents or in kindergartens can select that area, for instance. So in every category, there are subcategories. And you need to choose one. And you can sign up as yourself, or this is with inspiration from Marilyn Hamilton, with the 4 voices of community. You can sign up as a representative of a government organization, a commercial organization, or a non-profit organization, or just as an engaged citizen. So you might see as down in the lower left-hand corner here, there is an end. So here's somebody who has signed up as a non-profit organization, as representative of that.
If I can use myself as an example, Ola,
Yes.
I'm certified mindful self-compassion teacher. I trained with Chris Germer in the States, and I offer mindful self-compassion courses really to support people in bringing compassion and kindness to themselves. So I guess that I would be under health and well-being.
Right. And here we have the categories: healthy living, integrative, which is kind of body, mind, soul, children's health, mental health, trauma, women's health, palliative care. Is there something that resonates more with you in that list?
Yeah, my particular area of interest is trauma.
Are there any other? You can list as many secondary interests as you like. Is there anything you want to add to your profile?
Probably spirituality, and I wouldn't call it religion, but interesting.
Personal evolution.
I would describe myself as a secular Buddhist.
Right. So universal evolution. Spirituality.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all about that.
Don't need to choose. Why don't we just stop there and say that you will now be registering as somebody under health and well-being with a passion in trauma.
Yeah.
And then the only thing I need is your email address, which will not be disclosed to anybody. It will just be your ID.
So if I put that in the chat to you.
Well, I can write it right. If you spell it to me.
Yeah, Shad, S-H-A-D.
Mm-hmm.
And then Woolgrove. So that's WOOLGROVE. Yeah, at btinternet.com.
Okay. And you are not in Sweden?
Nej, men jag kan prata lite svenska.
So, okay, you're in England. Do you have a postcode?
Yeah, S for sugar, 11, 8, R-Y, Romeo Yankee.
Okay. Do you want to give your first name?
It's Shad.
Okay. You can be completely anonymous if you like.
Yeah, no, I'm fine to be Shad.
Okay.
Ula, before you hit, there's a comma between internet and yes.
So
there should be a full stop. Yeah, not a comma.
Yeah.
And is that com or con?
Com.
It's
with
com.
an M.
Okay.
It's the end of the line.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And You want my phone number?
No.
No.
No. Okay.
The thing is that if people contact you and with a suggestion to do things together, you can share your email address and you can share your phone number and you can share your address and you can meet. The point here is just for people to find other people that they could potentially want to do things with.
Right.
So it's an option to reach out to others and it's an option to receive invitations from others.
Okay. Okay. So in the about me, I might put something like, I am a certified mindful self-compassion teacher.
Certified mindful compassion teacher.
Certified mindful self-compassion.
Self-compassion.
Self-compassion. Yeah.
Oops, I got.
So mindful self-compassion was, I don't know, invented is probably the wrong word, but Chris Germer and Kristen Neff are the originators of mindful self-compassion.
And we ask everybody to make a self-assessment, whether they are a co-creator. And I'll show you what that entails. Appearing as a co-creator on this map is an invitation to participate in perhaps the greatest adventure of all time, co-creating the world that our hearts desire, an evolution towards paradise on earth. A co-creator is a humble and open-minded, curious and to understand and integrate others' perspectives, and is motivated by a higher purpose. For instance, knows and feels that all of life is one interconnected whole, has inner peace and harmony, and has overcome the ego-based need for personal recognition, can join others in heart resonance and doesn't work against anybody, is dedicated to his or her higher life purpose, serving principles such as love, heartfelt truth, peace, unity, and beauty. And if this aligns with you, please register on the map of co-creators.
Right.
Does that align with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And the terms and conditions are very simple. That if you misbehave, we'll kick you out, and we will not, and we will not share your personal information with anybody.
That's great. Thank you.
So we'll accept those. And now you need to, what this will do is, since I cannot register you, the map of co-creators now says that a verification email has been sent to you. Please read it and confirm your email address. So please open up your inbox, and there should be an email where you can click on register.
Sometimes emails take a while to arrive in my inbox.
Right.
Oh, it's arrived.
Okay. And there should be something there with register.
Yeah.
Click on register. Where are you located, by the way?
In Sheffield, in the UK.
Okay. Somewhere around here?
Yeah. Does that mean there's already 2 people here?
Let's see, where is Sheffield?
It's
right here, right?
Yes, yeah, to the east of Manchester, north of London.
So there you are.
Oh, great.
Yeah, the beauty of the map is that people find one another in their own geographic location. We were on a conversation with Canada, and a person found another individual on their very street. that did the same kind of work that they did not know. So it was an opportunity for him to contact that person. And by the way, they were in palliative care. So in the York region of Canada. So if you wanted to make contact with other folks, they would be there. I'm just looking at the time, and I do hope that all of you are able, if you are not already on the map, to go to the map and really try and digest it to see. And if for any reason you say, oh, I don't know if I did that right, or I don't know if I really expressed my primary passion as well as I could have, you cannot just go and make a change. You have to deregister. This is a safeguard. And so when you deregister, you can come back and register again and make any changes that you want to make. Another thing is that we're trying to tie this map to another project. And I'm going to ask Merida if she would put the link to the Grassroots Wisdom book in the chat so that you'd have an opportunity to look at that. We want all of your stories in there, and just like the map is divided into various sectors of interest and work, the same thing with the wisdom book. So that if you, and we're not looking for long stories, we're looking for enticing stories. We're looking where people can share with one another those stories. So I know we don't have enough time to look at those in detail, but I do hope that you'll take some time. There, what you're going to find, I think, are some real surprises from not only compassionate communities, but if you know of other projects that we can contact and bring into the Wisdom book, we're really open to doing that. And Hyacinth, when you're meeting with the Jerry group, one of the things is, and we've slowly been meeting with different organizations to invite them to take the map and to share it with their own communities. So like, for example, you know, if you're in an education community or in a well-being community, if you could just take that map and share it and have people make it their own to invite people. There's two things we want to hopefully let you know about. One is the fact that our gala is coming up, and it should be a wonderful, wonderful event. It is our primary fundraiser, and we don't want to exclude anyone, so that if you go to our pages, you'll find that there's a regular price for participating, but at the same time, we have prices for seniors and students and people who have some economic challenges right now. So the least amount that our system will allow us to accept is $5, and the most is $1 million. But if you're going to go that high, please contact us, because we do not want to pay the freight on that and give it to our processing company. But please, again, I think, Merida, if you would put the link to the gala there. We are every year, this is going to be, I think, our 6th year. I'll have to go back and check that out. But we give humanitarian awards. This year to Mary Robinson, who most of you probably know, and to Dio Gracias, who is from Burundi and has started a wonderful village health center in Burundi. His story, which is a remarkable one, as a refugee living in Central Park in New York City and winding up at Harvard Medical School, has been captured by Tracy Kidder in a book called Strength That Remains. The third recipient is Rihanna Eisler, who is a psychologist, a lawyer, a futurist, And so we're excited about her award. And the fourth is United World Colleges, which are in 18 different countries in the world and who have been doing extraordinary work for decades. So we hope, and we have incredible music. I need to say that. Incredible presentations all around. It's a 90-minute production. 30 minutes before you can come and just listen to music and get yourself motivated for the gala. And then we have an after party if you want to stay on. Again, music. So we really believe that music is something that really helps find us. And we hope that you'll enjoy the presentation. Now, Susan Soleil is here to give you a kind of, I think, preview of the possibilities of pro-social. And this is something for you to think about because in March, we'll be having a kind of big pro-social experience with all of our various compassionate communities. And that means partners. And when we say community, we mean that very, very broadly. So go ahead, Susan.
Thank you, and I'll be brief and hopefully I'll be able to share more as this goes on. In March, there will be an opportunity for groups of groups. So if you have a team in Leeds, like more than just you, all those working on kindness can come together and really, it's going to be an entire charter that Compassionate Cities and our sector leads and staff and board members will all be involved in a learning experience to become more in tune with your main purpose, what your North Star is as a group, and how you can really fine tune your plan moving forward. It's a team building like on steroids. So think about who in your community you would like to be part of a team building experience starting in March, and I'll give you more information later.
Okay, great. And like Hyacinth for women and girls and for positively empowered kids, like I know that you work with a team of people, not only, Compassionate Nottingham, but, there's going to be lots of possibilities. We'll have material so that you can take it and, share it with other people in your community and in your circle. So that we can really help one another as we move forward in thinking of ways to become kinder, more compassionate. Thank you all for coming. It was a fast flight, wasn't it? And these times are never enough. But again, please contact us if you need anything, especially if you want to think about forming a compassionate community and you'd like to explore that. We're here to help you. And especially we have two things. One is we try and work with communities who want to really deal with issues that are important to fix in their community and to expand because there are good things that are happening. The second thing is that we're really prone as much as we possibly can to make connections, create materials on the theory of what is compassion in education at all levels. So that's our charge. And thank you for coming. And hopefully we'll see you in another month or so. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marilyn. Thanks, everyone.
you.
Thanks, all.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye. Thank you.